guys. Legends never die.
Hello, welcome to another video, and today we're going to be discussing about the USMNT 23-man squad for World Cup qualifying. So, let's begin. This is a video from MB-B Productions, so let's begin. Goalkeepers: Ethan Horvath, Zach Steffen, Matt Turner / David Ochoa. Ethan Horvath and Zach Steffen, they're both solidly undisputed goalkeepers for the USMNT squad, and I think I would rather have Ethan Horvath starting because he'll be playing now in the championship. Honestly, the championship is still pretty decent competition level, and I think if he plays good there, I think he'll be undisputedly #1 starting over Zach Steffen. Matt Turner is the third goalkeeper for me. If David Ochoa has really good performances and is performing better than Matt Turner in MLS and shows that he has greater passing ability, at least better than Matt Turner, I think that should make David Ochoa third goalkeeper. But unless that something like that happens, I think I'd rather have Matt Turner as my third goalkeeper. So now let's go to the other group of players. Let's go to the fullbacks. The fullbacks for me are going to be separated into two groups, which will be left backs and right backs. So for me, the left backs are Anthony Robinson and Jonathan Gomez. I have Sam Vines as another option behind Jonathan Gomez. Sam Vines will be playing his football in Belgium if he plays good over there, and Jonathan Gomez cannot get a place at Real Sociedad or is still playing in MLS. I think I might consider Sam Vines as starting, having his backup spot over Jonathan Gomez. But unless something like that happens, I think I have Jonathan Gomez start being the backup over Sam Vines. Anthony Robinson should be the first option, obviously. I think Anthony Robinson should be finding a new club, a club like Leeds or like Man City, where he can improve his passing ability, because he should try to be improving that. And now let's go to the right backs. Serginho Dest obviously starting. He's undoubtedly starting. Shaquille Moore is my second option. If Reggie, let's say Reggie is starting to play good at Liga NOS, I think I'd have him over a guy like Shaq Moore, especially because Shaq Moore plays in La Liga 2 and Reggie Cannon plays in Liga NOS. I think I need to see Shaquille Moore playing against better competition than what he is playing right now. I think he should be trying to go for a different club. And if I were him, I try to find a club in La Liga or Liga NOS. And there's obviously DeAndre Yedlin too. DeAndre Yedlin is still a viable option. If he plays better in the Turkish league, which is, for me, in my opinion, is at the same level with Liga NOS and is way better than La Liga 2, I think I'd have DeAndre Yedlin over both of them. And especially because of his experience, obviously. He has a World Cup qualifying experience, which is very important at this kind of level. So now let's go to the other group of players. So let's go to the Centerbacks. The Centerbacks for me, the two undisputed Centerbacks for this is John Brooks and Chris Richards. This is obvious. Both of them are very good Centerbacks at the Bundesliga, and Chris Richards is a player for the future, honestly. John Brooks gonna be playing in the Champions League very soon. Hopefully he plays good over there against world-class opposition. Now let's go to the other potential Centerbacks. For me, the two first ones I have as backups. I have Mark McKenzie and Matt Miazga as the backups. Since they play in Europe and they play against better competition, I'd have them start being over guys like James Sands and Miles Robinson, who are still playing their football in the MLS. James Sands, for me, I would have him as my last option in this group of center backs. Although he did have a good Gold Cup, I think he's way back in the last. And Miles Robinson, I have him just outside. Miles Robinson should try to get a move to Europe. He should be trying to play against better opposition, so he can advance his career furthermore. And if, let's say, Miles Robinson does get that move or is playing out of the world in MLS, I'd have him over a guy like Matt Miazga. So yeah, now let's go to the other group of players. So now let's go to the midfielders. So now I'm gonna separate these two midfielders with CDMs and central midfielders. So for me, the central defensive midfielders for me is Tyler Adams. Obviously, he should be the first option. I think he is the most important player for this USMNT squad. And his backup, it's a pretty complicated situation. It can be James Sands. Honestly, James Sands, I'd have him as a 6 rather than a center back. We can as well put Kalan Casa, who had a very good Gold Cup, and there's as well Johnny Cardoso from Internacional, who's beginning to play games for his club. And honestly, it's a pretty interesting situation of who's going to be the backup for Taylor Adams. But I think I have James Sands as my backup. So central midfielders, this is pretty obvious. Winston McKennie, Yunus Musa, Luca de la Torre, and Gianluca Busio. Pretty obvious. I'd have Winston McKennie as my Winston McKennie and Yunus Musa as my undoubtedly starters because they are very good midfielders. Yunus Musa is going to be playing with a different coach who's going to be playing him as a midfielder rather than as a winger, which is good to see. Luca de la Torre, I put him as a backup, and Gianluca Busio too as a backup. Gianluca Busio would be playing in Italy very soon, and Yunus Musa just picked up an injury, so honestly these two guys can try to make a name for themselves as the season starts. So now there's as well other options I forgot to list in the central midfielders. There's obviously the guys like Sebastian Lletget, who I missed. Okay. Sebastian Lletget, honestly, his era is over, I think. But I think Greg will still select him. But this is my squad, honestly. But if this was Greg, obviously he has to put Sebastian Lletget over here. So yeah. So now let's go to the wingers. I separate these two in two categories: the left wingers and the right wingers. So Christian Pulisic and Timwell, obviously. This is pretty obvious. Christian Pulisic is the best player technically on this whole roster. Christian Pulisic is going to be the captain for me for the squad. And as a right winger, I put Gio Reyna, who is going to be inverting. Both of them are going to be inverting. And then I'm going to be having Conrad de la Fuente or Tyler Voigt as backups. There's as well Paul Arriola, but I think this Gold Cup just confirmed that Paul Arriola is no longer good enough for the USMNT, unless if he can improve his club level. So now let's go to the strikers. So the strikers for me is Matthew Hoppe is going to be starting, obviously. He impressed me a lot during the Gold Cup, and I think he should be the starter. Josh Sargent is his backup, but if Daryl Dike gets a move to the Championship or to the Premier League and starts playing better than Josh Sargent does in Bundesliga 2, I have Daryl Dike as my backup rather than a Josh Sargent. So now let's go to the formation and system. I think what Greg would play, and I would too play a 4-3-3 / a 3-4-2-1. Obviously, we have the capabilities for both. I would play playing direct attacking football. This is more suited to a club system rather than a Guardiola system. I think even though our players are more technical, they still have that directness in him. Examples are Christian Pulisic, Anthony Robinson, and Serginho Dest. Gio Reyna, he can too play direct, but he's more on the technical side. I think, although we do have better midfielders than what we had back then, I think we still lack the the passing ability and the technique to play high possession football, and this is what I will be playing with. So now let's go to. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this style video. So, yep. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.